In the last year, I've made some pretty insane tanks, but I've also kept some pretty insane pets as well. I'm going to take my top 6 tanks and turn them into a movie. So grab your popcorn, sit back, and enjoy. What if you could walk into the rainforest right now and find a section you really like? Grab it, bring it home with you to enjoy. With all the wild animals, predators, and prey. Would you do it? Using this Amazon enclosure, I glued 2 branches together with a little bit of moss and plants, and bedroom jungle was complete. On day 1, the jungle was lonely, so I added some insects I found outside. These range from isopods to cockroaches to whatever the heck this thing is. The creepy crawlers were in full force. Just take a look at this thing. I don't know if I caught an albino ant or termite, but no tank is complete without some noisy ass crickets to keep you up at night. And they wasted no time making this place their home. But one of them wasn't so lucky. We call them not so lucky. I was just about to start CPR when this happened. Well, dagnabbit, this little guy was just playing possum. Now that everyone is settled in, I'm going to make it rain. Once the rain stopped, I spotted a baby worm coming out of the earth to say hello. But guys, I missed a very crucial step, and because of this, the tank is infested with mold. But there is a natural solution: springtails. I released my army of mold eaters into the jungle, and they immediately sprung into action to abolish the mold for good. On day 20, I noticed the roly-polies out in the open goofing off. They call them roly-polies because the second they're in danger, they roll up into a ball. And once the coast is clear, they take off running like a bunch of cowards. Then I added some giant hissing roaches. This is Bonnie and Clyde, my poop-eating fighting machines. It's day 30 and time to add our first predator. This is Mog, the ball python. I quickly fed him a frozen rat so that he would feel right at home, and he wasted no time using his muscles to strangle this little thing till it was more dead than it was already dead. He then stepped back to admire his kill and began to figure out how he's going to fit this whole thing in his mouth. Using his fangs, he grabbed the head and begins to swallow it whole while choking on his fat rat down his gullet until it's all gone. Then he just kind of left without even saying thank you. The next day I found a shiny string up in the canopy, and I followed it to this death trap. Out of the shadows, this evil beast emerges and completely misses. But the cricket gave her another shot, and it looks like a miss because it happened so fast. But she got him. Oh, she got him good. And now she waits for the venom to do its job. An hour later, I found this cricket wrapped up like a mummy, hanging from a leaf. Anybody know what kind of spider this is? It's day 50, and something is eating my plants. This is a horned worm invasion, and we are now at war. So I called on my champion to exterminate them. This here guy is Rango, the tokay gecko. I gave him his orders and he leaped into action. And this guy is about to find out why you do not mess with the tokay. Crawling across the tree branch, Rango silently waits on the other side. The only problem is Rango can't see him. And the worm makes it to safety. Using the suction cups as feet, this worm can move around like Spider-Man. Unfortunately, it's a dead end and he has to turn back. Then he stops to rest, and that's when Rango makes his move. Well, his depth perception is a little short, so he's gonna move a little closer and throws him off the tree. Rango's gonna have to work on his hunting skills. Or is it this worm's alien face that freaked Rango out? The next morning I found this alien worm sleeping with a hole in his stomach. This was not Rango. This was something more terrifying. Wait, it's just Pablo, my centipede. He's back from the dead. He's kinda shy and he likes to bury himself. It's day 65 and all the animals have taken cover. And for good reason. A thunderstorm has swept through the jungle. But after it stopped, I noticed a strange new creature that I didn't put in here. I am calling him Big Black Cutie, or BBC for short. But check out those antennas. This guy looks like he can be a giant armored ant. I decided to look around and see if there's any other animals that hitchhiked in here. And there's one right there, a woodlouse. Then something strange had caught my eye. Clyde was up there all by himself. Day after day. Something must be wrong, guys. And I don't think I've seen Bonnie since day one. Was she hiding? Is she missing? Did Rango eat her? Why was he alone? I had to find out if Bonnie was alive. So I placed in a strawberry and I waited and waited and waited. I searched for her and then I discovered something. A baby hissing roach hiding in the leaves. She must have laid eggs before she died. And they were so cute. About the size of my fingernail. And boy, were they hungry. But then I realized something. Although Bonnie is gone, her memory remains. And Clyde is no longer alone. He's got a family. This was a strange day. I went to feed my cows one morning, but I left my boots outside. When I went to put them on, I found a little surprise waiting inside. It was Kamala, seeking shelter for the winter. Now it was too cold to release her as snow had begun falling already. And the Grand Canyon tank was way too big, plus my king snake lives here and he would definitely eat her. So I wanted to make something homemade and cheap. On day one, we went dumpster diving for some free glass we found. I cleaned all the silicone off and got it ready to be cut into pieces. Once it's scored, I give it a tap and then it just snaps off. Well, this glass is thicker than I thought, so it's going to need some more tapping and maybe even a little bit of chiseling. This should definitely work. It's still not working, so I went on to Google to look for answers. And there it was. Tempered glass. And if you try cutting it, this could cause serious damage. So I grabbed some eye protection and I destroyed it. I'm glad it didn't shatter like this when I was trying to break it. So plan B. I went to PetSmart and I got this for $75. And it has a front opening door with a lock. Few rocks and sticks. My vision is coming alive. I begin to fill it with play sand. And you're probably wondering why I didn't add drainage layer. That's because it's a desert and it will never see water. I then sprayed the whole thing down with water to lock it in place. Now let's add some desert plants. The next day, I had my son go outside and catch a bunch of random bugs. We got isopods, big beetles, little beetles, and a half-smashed cricket. Whatever this evil creature is, and a bunch of grubs. I'm naming this guy Beetlejuice. He has a big role to play here shortly, as he will be best friends with this guy, the scorpion. And what's better than a scorpion? Well, two scorpions, and they instantly got along. Then Beetlejuice climbed on his back to make sure he looked good for the lady. And then he just left her there.
I'm not going down there.
For an entire day, she chased him down until he was cornered under a rock. Is she gonna try to eat him? The suspense was killing me. Then Beetlejuice came in here to stir some things up. She gives him a tap. Back off. But that fall took a number on Beetlejuice, and he may now have brain damage. Then this isopod offered himself up as a sacrifice for dinner, while this cricket snuck behind them and started drinking nectar from the scorpion's stinger. Yeah, crickets are so dumb. Today, I decided to make it rain, and I know, I didn't put a drainage layer, but it's so hot during the day, it will all evaporate anyways. That night, I found the scorpions hunting under the ultraviolet light, aka the makeshift moon. The breeding sequence with scorpions is crazy and bizarre. The male sticks his fertilizer into the ground and then grabs the female and drags her over it. And a few months later, she will deliver a ton of babies and they'll pile up on her back until they grow older. But I haven't seen my scorpions do this, which leads me to believe they are both males. Just in case, I'm gonna slap this on here. On day 10, I added Kamala, and she loves this place. That rattle means she's happy, I'm pretty sure. She then took refuge under this rock with the scorpions. This should be fine, right? Guess we'll find out. That night, I placed a dead mouse out for her to eat. And nope, she didn't want it. So I tried moving it around as if it were alive. Come on, girl. You can get it. You know you want this. But she did not want this. She gave me a dirty look and then she left. Then this cricket came over to check on the mouse.
Don't mind me, I'm just gonna climb up this cactus here.
The next day, I tried again, and she really seems to be into it this time. But Beetlejuice had to be in the shot and distracted her. Now, I hate wasting good food, so I did what any hillbilly would do, and I fed it to my chickens. On day 20, a storm appeared called a haboob, and I simulated this using a leaf blower.
Help me!
The next morning, everyone went out on a search looking for missing people in the storm. The storm did a number on this enclosure, but where there's a disaster, there is happiness. And this cactus is blooming its first flower. But not all things are okay. Since the storm came, my scorpions have been missing. The last place I saw them was in here. I needed to be sure they were still alive, so I got a special tool from the camera room. This is a probe lens. I quickly swapped it out and put it on my camera. This will give me the ability to peek into tiny spots and see what the heck is going on in there. Would you look at this, guys? She had babies, and they were adorable. But wait! Hold on. This means that we did in fact have a male and female, and they were now one big happy family. But not everybody was this happy. Poor Kamala hasn't eaten in a month and is now starving. We tried so many times and nothing was working. But the answer was staring at me right in the face. It was you! You guys had the answers all along. Bring Pee-wee back.
You! Spit him out!
Hello, Pee-wee. Welcome home, my old friend. I'm going to create my very own island inside this aquarium, full of colorful fish, shark-infested waters, and crabs. But I have one problem. Where do I put it? My new room is under construction, and my old room is, well, it's a mess. But one of you guys reached out to me on Discord and said, you can build it at my house. But in order to turn this bare tank into a majestic tropical island, we must go back to day one. I got this 75-gallon tank for free at a yard sale, and it was a mess. Not only was it caked in nasty fish crud, but it was covered in stickers. And I hate stickers. I once put a Harambe sticker on my truck, and the next day someone keyed it in a Walmart parking lot. And if you don't know who Harambe is, that's him, taking care of other people's children. So I quickly removed the stickers before someone keys my tank. These old tanks come with water spots, so I wiped it with pH down, and the water spots disappeared. Now the rim was somehow melted, broken, and cracked in multiple places. So I cut it off and made a rimless tank. I then configured the rocks until it looked like an island. Took a picture and headed to the build site. Due to the weight of the rocks, I placed down some support. I then attached the rocks together with super glue and cotton. This will keep it in place while I spray foam the back. Once that was dry, I filled the back with some clay balls. Once you get the desired height, you now add dirt. I then glued some small sticks to the rocks to make it look like roots growing out of the water. A little trick I learned from Serpa Design. Once the plants were in place, I locked it all together with some exotic white sand from the rivers of New Zealand, which you could buy at PetSmart right here. Now, I'm hoping if I keep showing off API products, they may one day sponsor me. Or they'll just let me keep doing it for free. This tank is 75% water and 25% land, with a water feature for circulation. I immediately spotted life after filling the tank, which looks to be a baby ghost shrimp, all alone, searching for his family.
Where is everybody?
So I gave him some friends. Zebra danios, bala sharks, guppies, and this spotted fish. But the guppies are a sight to be seen within this tank. Unless you like weird fish, then this one's for you guys, as he rolls his eyes at me. The tank was alive, and in 1 week I spotted that ghost shrimp again. All the fish were enjoying their new home, except for the shark. He died. I also learned that isopods can live on land and in the water. After 2 weeks, the water turned red, most likely from tannins in the wood. Although I like the look, it doesn't give the island vibes like the clear water does. I also felt the tank was missing some greenery in the canopy. So I made some rock planters and placed them along with this blue background. And since the shark died from natural causes, I replaced them with something prettier. No, not this thing, but these guys. 12 days later, and my 2 crabs have finally arrived. Okay, we're good. We're good. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry, guys. I'm gonna get you out of there. Oh, I need to find a knife. There we go. Hold tight, little buddies. Ooh, right through. Whoopsies, you don't need those. Where are they? Just kidding, guys. I put them in here yesterday. Hey there, buddies. I think I can pick one up. There we go. Meet the vampire crabs. This was a soft landing.
Hey, mister, next time you do that, I'm gonna come up there and pinch your nose.
These little guys will be a perfect addition to this island. Or so I thought.
Whee!
He quickly takes the leaf elevator down to the ocean floor, while his brother stayed on land. This guy just randomly started eating the air.
Yum, yum, yum.
Thinking he's hungry, I gave him a tasty treat, but he'd rather just eat the sand. Now, underwater was a different story. This lone crab was fighting off a horde of hungry fish and a creepy loach. He needed help. He needed his brother. Like a water ninja, he floats down, and together they control the food supply. While one is eating, the other is standing guard. Once the crabs are full, they stand back and let the fish clean up the mess. But I discovered something amazing. When I went home that night, there was a third crab crawling out of the top of my trash can. By some miracle, he was still alive. He was so small that they had accidentally sent him to me, so I immediately gave him a bath so he doesn't dry up. Meet little Jimmy. I then tried to get him to eat, but he wasn't having it. So I gave him a mealworm. But it was obviously way too big, and no matter how hard I tried, all he wanted to do was blow bubbles. I decided to place him in Insectopia, but there was one problem. He was all alone. For safe measures, I put in a block of bloodworms for him to eat later, but he went straight into hiding. And the worms became a melted mess. But I have a plan. What if he's afraid because he's alone? These 2 crabs didn't start eating until they were together, but they're over 100 miles away. and I won't be back to that tank for a month. So I decided to order more crabs, but they are coming by boat in 28 days. Now these crabs quickly stormed the beach and claimed the land for themselves. There is one problem. These are not vampire crabs. These are red craw crabs. The males have giant claws for crushing, and the females are in the itty bitty claw committee. Now the question is, will they get along with my baby vampire crab? Nope. These crabs are 10 times the size of the vampire crab, and they can easily kill him. I only had one option, so I went back to the island tank and I added some ferns and a cool new background. Come nighttime, the entire tank was finally complete. The loach was being creepy, the glowfish were glowing, and the daniels were schooling like they should. It was truly an amazing sight to see. There was moss growing on the waterfall. The floating plants were taking over the surface, while the roots provided a safe place for the fish to hide. And on land, the red claw crabs are living their best life. Hiding in the trees and eating sand like a bunch of weirdos. But they had each other's back, and nothing was gonna bring them down. Well, except for this guy's buck teeth. I'm officially naming this guy Jeff. Just watch how Jeff sucks up the bloodworms like a spaghetti noodle. These guys are fun to watch, but you're all asking, what happened to the vampire crabs? Please subscribe so I can be part of a family again. The last time we saw little Jimmy, he was hiding in Insectopia. But what you didn't see was this. The kid whom I built a tank for gave me back the vampire crabs in exchange for the red claw crabs.
I love these crabs.
Little Jimmy was only alone for 3 days, and I reunited him with his actual family. But what happens next will absolutely shock you. Insectopia is not a safe place for a baby crab. But as a trio, they just might have a chance. This is the world's most aggressive turtle, and I'm gonna build him a beautiful enclosure to live in. This ain't your normal enclosure. This is a 2-story rainforest. But our turtle won't be alone. There will be good, bad, and what the heck? You're gonna see how dangerous this turtle's bite will be. Oh my gosh, this is a bad idea, guys. I'm using a 75-gallon tank, and the most important step is creating a pump house. Because we are making 2 water features. One will be the waterfall, and the second will be the rain. To do this, I need to flip the tank over and attach the hose in place, so it's hidden and out of the way. Once it's secure, we'll spray the entire back. I want the illusion of trees growing in the distance, so I placed them in first, then built the whole tank forward. Ooh, this is a cool stick. Yeah, I'm just gonna attach this right here. And the worst part is carving the foam out. But if done correctly, we should end up with something amazing that will last a very long time. Once it's dry, I vacuum it out to reveal the natural beauty underneath. This tank will have a large water area on one side and a small land area on the other. By filling the land area with lava rock and sand, I am creating a giant filter for the pump. But no rainforest is complete without some cool jungle plants. And it looks good, so let's build the second floor. In order to do this, I need to build a big box with a screen top. Then create a rain system. Yeah, I think I'm gonna need a bigger pump. Once the rain system is in place, I can secure it with foam and then foam everything else so it all becomes water resistant. I truly believe that if you spend the time to build something like this, you will be able to enjoy it for years to come. And now let's test this rain system.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
And it works amazingly. Having the ability to bring a rainforest into my house has been a dream of mine since I was a kid. And today, that dream is coming true. This is Crush, my common snapping turtle, and he's ready to test out his new home. Like I said, he's not alone. The ants have made their way into the tank. But will they take over? I was checking on the enclosure when something caught my eye at the bottom of the tank. Ants started emerging out of the ground. Within an hour, there were ants everywhere. But they weren't just on the ground. They are making their way to the canopy, consuming the entire tank with their fierce presence. And look at this dumb fly. Hey, you can't park there. The next day, I realized I have a big problem and I needed to act fast. So I got some anoles. It didn't take long for the anoles to pick up the scent of the ants. By tasting the ground with their tongue, they can track them down. They are on the move. But they have to be careful not to get swarmed by the ants. The anole spots a single ant on the log, then makes his way down. But he's not alone. He has backup. Ooh, he got one. And now the brown anole is on the move. But he better be quick, because this guy's after the same ant and snags him. And this guy is so focused on another ant that he doesn't even see the one right next to him. Ooh, it's coming back. And this time he sees him. But the anoles have other ways of getting rid of the ants by feeding them to the turtle. 2 days later, and there are no more ants in the canopy. But they are not gone. They are down below, raging war on each other. This anole I am naming Thanos, and he's watching the ant war unfold. The ants seem to be dragging each other into the water, where the turtle is patiently waiting. Ants alone are not enough to feed Crush, so I got him a clam. And it didn't take long before he started ripping it apart. But he's still wanting more. So I went to the best place there is to get turtle food. PetSmart. And now we are ready to feed. Crush hides in the shadows so the fish have no idea where he is, and he can sneak up on them. The speed of this turtle is insane. So I'm gonna slow it down so you can see exactly how he eats them.
Come una giornata soleggiata, gli occhi d'una figlia appena nata, come il cielo che
Bro's like a fish vacuum. A few days later, and I noticed something strange happening in the canopy. It was mating season for the anoles, and 3 males were competing for 1 female. But the brown anole has a special trick up his sleeve. He can call the female to him. And it worked. But a green anole 2 times his size steps in and did his mating dance. But yeah, the female's not into this weird dance, and she leaves. So the brown anole has to call her back. Now this lasted about 2 hours before the rain system kicked on and cooled everyone off, forcing the anoles to take cover. Did you guys know that there's a snake in Mexico that eats other snakes? And I want to keep him as a pet. But he's not alone. He has friends. Now let's take a piece of Mexico and put it into this tank to give our friends a realistic place to call home. On day 1, I got this 75-gallon tank and I filled it with everything it needs. Well, maybe not quite like this, but yeah. I started with a drainage layer in case I want to flood the tank. Then I added pure Mexican desert sand, play sand, and I built a rocky plateau so our snake has places to hide. And it was pretty easy to make. Just shape out some foam, put a hole in it so the snake has a way to get into the heated cave. Then add grout so it looks something like a rock. Now I've seen enough Dr. Plants videos to know you do not go grabbing cactus with your bare hand. So I used some gloves to get the job done. Dang it. Let's just dump it upside down into this bucket. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Oh, dang it. Okay, I got him. Of course. Okay. Oh gosh, the guy is tough. Alright, how about I just show you guys when it's all done? And there it is. But guys, yeah, I forgot something. This is supposed to go under that. And now it weighs, 150 pounds. There might be a way to slip it. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Alright, let's add some more plants. Now that our Mexican desert is looking sweet as heck, let's add our first critter. These guys are so cool and super fun to watch. Meet the antlion. A tiny little guy with a giant grabber on his mouth, and they dig traps in the sand to catch their prey. I added these guys to keep the ants from coming in. But by day 3, I felt bad and I gave them some ants. Yeah, I didn't think this one through. But just watch how they trap the ants and devour them. Ant goes in and he starts digging, causing the ant to fall right into his grasp. Never to be seen again. Psych! He yeets the dead carcass clear across the tank when he's done. Then grows wings and flies away. Well, kinda. On day 5, I added stink bugs. I figured these would be perfect for the snake as they both have the same superpower. Stink power. Now let's add the snake. And yeah, he just skunked my entire hand. Okay, I'm gonna have to set him in here and go wash my hands because this thing is gross. But first... Hey babe, smell my finger.
Oh, gross. Go away.
Hey Sawyer, smell my finger.
Ew.
On day 10, I noticed one of the skink bugs was missing. And there is only one place he could be hiding. Are you guys in here? What the heck are you two doing? Gosh, I don't even know. Let me just put this back. Now once the sun sets, it's feeding time. On day 15, I added this guy. The cow killer. This should keep out all of the cows. He spends the entire day looking for food, and I'm not even sure what that is exactly, so I Googled it. Nectar? I for sure thought it was going to say cows, so I put some nectar in this green cap to look like a flower, so he can easily find it. Hey buddy, you passed it. It's right here. Okay, he's coming back. Right here, dude. Oh my goodness, pretty sure these ants are onto it. Dude, open your eyes. You're so close, it's just right there. Look to the left. Uh-oh, the ants are here. While the cow killer was eating his nectar, the ants started surrounding him and biting his face, trying to scare him off. But the cow killer has a sneaky plan up his sleeve. No, wait a minute. Is he about to... In the nectar, dude? This upset the ants and they declared war. They tried stinging him in the head, but it doesn't faze him. And then they walk around confused because they thought the stinger was gonna work. On day 20, it started raining.
What is this wet stuff?
On day 25, the grass began to grow and our desert was complete. But all of this grass attracted a new predator. Grasshoppers. They migrated here for one thing and one thing only. To eat the grass. It's pretty obvious. So I added a predator to eat them. The horned lizard. And the grasshoppers began to size him up. But this grasshopper is smart. And he has a sneaky plan. The lizard can't eat him if he's on his back. He then began to put the lizard to sleep using his grasshopper voodoo magic. Alright, coast's clear, let's go eat. On day 30, a sandstorm swept the desert. This storm would completely change the way the desert looks. Revealing more rocks and things long forgotten. Oh, and another power the stink bug has is they can play dead. Yeah, this one might actually be dead. Come nighttime, more predators make their way through, like this desert tarantula, looking for any stray grasshoppers that got left behind. Nighttime in the desert is a spooky place, as you never know what you're gonna find or what's gonna find you. But what Mother Nature creates, she can also take away, completely covering everything under layers of sand, creating a lifeless wasteland that our friends will have to adapt to, and the cycle will repeat again and again and again until there's nothing left. I'm gonna take this 400-gallon tank and turn it into the river and fill it with some of the coolest creatures I could find. And it wasn't easy getting it here. First, I must build a stand. This stand has to be strong enough to hold 4,000 pounds of water. Otherwise, it could be a disaster. But that shouldn't happen to us, right? Now it's time to add some stuff. I'm gonna start with organic garden soil so I could grow some plants. Then cap it off with the sand. This sand should keep the soil from leaking into the water and making it all dirty and nasty and sewer-like. Then I place 2 big old logs inside. This will give a cool river look while also adding tannins into the water, if that's a good thing, I don't know. Now we have a riverbank on both sides, with the middle being the wasteland. Now let's add these plants in. I'm hoping that all these plants will help filter the water and keep it clean. Now that we have all the stuff in, we can add water, and already I have a problem. This dang log broke off the rock and floated up, destroying everything in its path. So I piled some rocks on it and anchored them down on this side with some wire. On day 3, the tank looked like sewer water. So I put this stuff in my filter, and by day 5, the tank was back to being clear. Now that the tank is complete, let's go get some fish. This is Hank, the bass. I couldn't find a largemouth bass, so I settled for a peacock. I also added this fat mosquito fish named Big Bertha. And Hank does not like her at all. He chased her around for an hour before she retreated to the other side. To prevent Hank from hunting the other fish, I decided to give him a worm, and he just watched it float to the bottom. I'm making it my goal to get Hank to eat a worm from my hand, so I gave him another one. And of course, he wasn't paying attention, but once he found it, he just sat there and watched it. So I tried one more time. And yeah, I wasn't expecting much, but now I have all these worms on the ground and they caught the attention of a blue crawfish. This is Larry, and Larry don't mess around. He likes to cut his worms in half and eat half now and take the other half home for later. But Larry ain't gonna be enough to keep the river floor clean. So I got some baby water dogs. This is Bob and Marley, and they wasted no time exploring for food. But I was very surprised to find that one of them was afraid of worms. On day 10, I introduced bloodworms to Hank. He was quick to try it, but then spat it out. And now Bob is interested in these worms. He shoots to the surface to grab a big mouthful and then quickly dives back down to the depths. And here you can see all the worms have settled on the floor. And Hank doesn't care. I'm starting to wonder if he's lonely and misses his brothers and sisters. I had to find out if this was the reason he wasn't eating. So I got him a dozen striped minnows that looked just like him. And look at that. He quickly joined them while they were schooling. I think Hank is finally happy being surrounded by his new family. On day 15, I noticed the plants were reproducing, sending loads of seeds into the current, and they were latching onto everything, including this dead plant. The sword plants were dropping their land leaves and sprouting aquatic ones. This is a good sign. And of course, the water is turning red again, so time for a water change. Once the tank has been balanced, we won't have to do this ever again. Now look at this. The algae is producing oxygen for the fish. This is essential to sustain life here. I also added a CO2 injector to give the plants the best chance of survival. It's day 20 and this tank is lacking some color and life. So I added a catfish, some tigerfish, these redfish, and these algae eaters to eat the algae. These fish should bring the tank to life. As soon as the catfish was released, he went straight to work cleaning the river floor. The redfish joined the minnows in the wasteland. This guy started eating algae like he does, and the tigerfish were attacking the reflection in the glass. Strong work there, fellas. But if you get out of line, Hank will set you straight. If only he could figure out how to eat. He's been trying so hard and it's wearing him out. But everyone has a part to play to keep this river ecosystem running smoothly. On day 25, the tank was looking amazing and everyone seemed to be thriving. So I thought I'd try to feed Hank a worm again. He immediately came to me, so that's progress. And for a second, I thought he would eat it. We have to get Hank bigger before we introduce the bluegill. You see, this is Hank, and this is the bluegill, except he's 10 times bigger and could easily eat Hank. So I'm gonna grow some live food for him, fairy shrimp and triops. But we have to grow them in a separate tank. So I built this basic tank to house the food until they are big enough to go in the main tank. Now it just needs some bubbles. Add the triop eggs and the shrimp eggs, and I guess we just wait. But something major happened while I was waiting. Bob lost his gills. I am not sure how he morphed considering he's in a freaking fish tank, but we had to get him out before he started to drown himself. I'm gonna give him a worm until I figure out where the heck to put him. But duh, I could just put him in Morpheus's old tank. Sorry, Bob.
You're fired.
On day 26, I tried a worm again. And again. And again. Nope. But the bloodworms, on the other hand, are creating a feeding frenzy for all the fish. It's day 30 and... Gosh dang it, the water's red again! Hold on. It's day 30 and the tank looks crystal clear. I know, I'm just as surprised as you guys are. But the main question is, will Hank eat a worm from my hand? Now I think the worm might be too big, but the tigerfish really seem into this. Just look at how they circle around it like a pack of sharks. Then, the minnow goes in for the strike. And this commotion got Larry's attention. I thought for sure he was going after the worm, but instead, he started eating my plants. So if a small worm was too big, maybe some bloodworms would work. Now I've been feeding him with these tongs for days now, to get him used to them and not be afraid. And now that he knows it's safe, let's try it by hand. And it's working. Hank finally trusts me, and it only took 30 days. Now imagine what this tank could look like in 100 days. Welcome to the river. On day 100, I had a major algae outbreak. We had algae on the logs, algae in the plants, algae covering the ground and the rocks, algae floating in the water, and algae stuck to the glass. It was an algae apocalypse, but I had to remove it, and I don't like using chemicals to kill it, so scrubbing it is the only way to go. Once I get it detached, the filter will clean most of it, and then I'll just vacuum up whatever's left. And something nasty is growing on these dead fish. And now that I can see into the tank, it's plant trimming time. Now this looks like a river. Here's before and after. I probably removed around $1,000 worth of aquatic plants, and they have all started growing roots. I'd hate to waste them, so if you guys want them, they're gonna be right here. You have until the trash guy to come get them. And for the first time ever, Bluey came out of hiding. Then I notice all of the fish are gone, unless they are really good at hiding, but I can't find them. And it wasn't Bluey. He doesn't like eating fish, just insects. Do you guys remember Hank? Well, here he is today. Still a baby, but about as big as Bluey. And boy, does he like to eat fish.
Hank, who's in your mouth? Is that the catfish? What the heck, dude? Spit him out!
Spit him out!
Hank learned a valuable lesson today. You can't eat the catfish because they have spikes built into them that flex out and stab you when you try to swallow. And the only option is to spit them out. And Hank did. So I decided to try out some different food options for him, starting with frozen sardines. This would be the cheapest way to feed him, but he doesn't seem to like that one.
Hanky Panky, I got you a dead fish.
Oh, he took it. Well, I guess that's food for the crawfish. At least my chickens will eat them. What's wrong with you guys? Eat the fish. Did she just kung fu kick the fish? Anyways, next I tried shrimp.
Come on, buddy. You know you want this. Come get it.
Gosh, Hank, you are a picky eater, dude. But Bluey isn't. Bluey will eat anything that floats down from the surface.
Huh?
And Hank is not happy. So I tried a worm. Now I know fishermen use worms to catch bass all the time, so he's got to eat this one. Oh boy. See, Bluey eats everything. But I'm gonna try one more time. There we go, boy. Now he's eating. But worms are hard to come by in the winter, so I got some goldfish. We want these, don't you? You want these.
So yeah, we just want to get these acclimated, before he eats them. They're in a bag. Don't you try it. Don't you try it. They're in a bag.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the River Hunger Games.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Happy Hunger Games, and may the odds be ever in your favor.
If you thought that was cool, wait till you see this guy. The next day, I noticed the goldfish hiding in the plants, where Hank can't get them. Oh, and this is Jeff, the loach. Him and the catfish will pick up whatever falls to the bottom. Keeping this tank clean is a must. And on day 125, I decided to address the algae situation so we don't have another outbreak. I started with 2 plecos, 10 algae-eating fish, and boy do these guys work fast. I also did about 5 snails. And I had no idea what these snails would become. I was so confused why there were no baby snails in the tank. That's because they're getting sucked up into here. Look at this. All these baby snails are in here.
On day 150, the tank was algae free, and the fish were happy. Well, except for that guy. But now, guys, I am going to simulate a flash flood. Hydro wave maker and the hydro power head. Check this out. Powerhead moves the water in one direction, and the wave maker moves it up and down, creating the perfect river current. This is going to change the ecosystem of this tank. The storm lasted all through the night, causing Jeff to vomit his food up. And Hank and Bluey moved downstream, never to be seen again. Goodbye, Hank. But the storm woke up the crawfish, who have been underground for the last 2 months, hibernating for the winter. These guys have created a network of tunnels throughout the bottom of the tank. It's day 200 and I've added a new predator. The fish were enjoying the current of the river and happy as can be, but that's all about to change. Because something is lurking in the darkness. It's Gary the Gar! And he's eyeballing my guppies, and we can't have that. So I went to the pet store and picked up 100 pink minnows. This should keep Gary busy enough to leave the other fish alone. Now what happens next, I did not expect. It turns out Gary is a very bad hunter. Miss. Ooh, miss. Another miss. Come on, Gary, you gonna let these minnows make a fool of you? Almost. Oh boy, Gary, people are watching. Miss. 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 You fail. Miss. Yeah, you just gotta keep practicing, buddy. A couple days later, and Gary has figured it out. He pushes the fish up against the glass, and then he just stares at him. Then one day, after trying so hard, it finally happened. Unlike the bass, who eats everything, Gary only needs 2 to 3 fish a day to thrive, and he has now mastered that. Gary is a sniper of a fish. And look at those teeth, dude. Half fish, half alligator. A falligator. Unfortunately, Gary can't breathe underwater like Hank because he doesn't have gills. Gary breathes kind of like a whale, moving to the surface to get a breath, then blowing out the old oxygen. I think Gary would make a good pet for anyone who's crazy. Be aware, they can get really big. But Gary wasn't the only predator I added in. Meet Lasso, the rope fish. The way he swims is absolutely adorable. And I'm gonna be honest, if I was out snorkeling in the river and this thing started swimming at me, I would freak the heck out and get out of the water. It looks like a sea snake. Life in the river at night is a beautiful sight to see. The catfish starts schooling on the river floor in search of food, while Gary creeps in the darkness, hunting minnows that are glowing in the moonlight. But life in the river isn't just about what's under the water. It's what's above the water that plays a huge role in the river's success. But in order to simulate this, I need to drop the water level by 50%. From here, I'll create some land areas, put some rocks on it, and some trees, maybe even some grass, a couple of waterfalls, then add some tadpoles which will turn into frogs, and a cool new land predator, and I'll call it Amphibia 2.0. Make sure to subscribe because you don't want to miss that one.